Welcome to another exciting episode of Doug's Electronic Repair Bench.
Hi, evening. I am back here with you to let you see what I've been doing. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. I've got the some of the lettering on the power variac output. I have the 0 to 150 volt AC marked on these sockets here. And what I'm going to do over here is put volts and amps AC, or AC volts and AC amps, something like that. And put those on there too, so those will be very clear. I have also thinking about doing some other stuff here. Scott, who is StoveBolt50 on YouTube, had me thinking about something, and I'm thinking about doing it actually now. Making a low voltage power supply. I was wanting to do this from the beginning with this variac, because what I wanted to do was put an output running over to another little box like this and have a little rectification and filtering circuit inside, and basically just filter the AC coming out of here into DC and use that to power my DC things that need DC. The variac is capable of 4 amps AC coming out, so that would give it plenty of oomph, I do believe, to power up to old car radios and things like that. But I would have an amp and voltage meter on it as well, and that was my thoughts on that. So right in the middle of this boombox again, I'm thinking about doing something else again. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I've just got so much stuff to do. I just need to stop thinking about it and start doing it. So I did do this, so that was a good thing. So again, next thing I want to do is put the AC volts in DC or AC amps down on this one. Not really sure if I want to put AC volts above that meter and AC amps below that meter. I just haven't really decided yet on which. If I put it in the middle, it's kind of, I mean, even with the AC volts above that, I think it kind of give it the indication that maybe, you know, that's not what I'm looking at. I've also thought about putting an arrow in, so maybe that would help too. I'll see what I can do. I know that Label Maker will make quite a few different things. So.
Demonetization campaign.
Back here with you one more time.
Some companies, especially those who are seen to be close to the government,
are
being able to get away with much more, shall we say, than
they are set up
others.
the way they would be set up.
So what happens then is that each time the government, a new government is elected, then the companies or business people want to try and sort of get much more proximate to the sources of power. So I think that's a big issue.
Excellent. Thanks both. Julie's here with the Business Matters headlines.
There's no problem.
In a surprise announcement, the British Prime Minister Theresa May
so I am going to turn that off
for the 8th of June.
And so that proves that the speakers are fine. So the only thing I can say about the reason the audio was not playing was that thermal device was shut off. Thermal protection device was kicked in, whatever you want to call it. That'd be the only thing, unless it was just, yeah, I hooked it up 2 different ways, and I guess it's possible I could have hooked it up wrong 2 different ways, but anyway, I guess the thing I got to do now is fix that dial thing and get that done, and once I get that done, then I can go ahead and start putting this back together. I think what I'm going to do when I get this going is the way it's sitting right now. It's got the circuit board in it the way it goes, and I think I'm just going to lay it down on its face and get this all back into the cabinet part of it, and see if I can't connect this line here, which goes up to the power supply, the rectified DC. So and try to put the top on that way and see how it comes out that way. I don't know if I can do that or not. We'll have to wait and see. But the only thing I have to else to do is to take all these little connections here and put them up through the hole that they go into. I think 2 of them go into the back. Those 2 there go into the back of it. So all that will have to be done, and we will have to do that when it's time. So I just got a text, so let me get that, and I'm gonna probably come back to it again later on. I don't know if I'll do it this evening or tomorrow, but you guys stay tuned. Alright, with you once again, and to bring you this dial that I have working now. That is on 98.3 right now, the station is. It's a little bit past 98, I think, so we can go this way. Not sure what station that is. Go down to the ones I know. 106.1. So that's 106.1. Here's 107.3, I think is what that is. So we go down here to the other end. I believe 96. Yep, that's 96. Like I said, it's well lined up now. It took a while to get this done, but I got it done. So this whole thing was messed up. I mean, really messed up bad. I don't know if it ever did work or what was happened to it, but the way out of line and everything. So anywho, that is now working as it should, and everything's tightened back up, and I believe it's ready to go. So what I'm going to do next is probably put this get back to 98. They play less copyrighted stuff, so not saying it's not copyrighted, but it doesn't pick up on it, I guess is what they're saying. Anywho, that's let me take in as close as I can get to it. So that looks pretty darn good. Anywho, like I said, that's pretty much the first time that's ever worked. So everything else is working just fine still, and I guess the next thing is to try to get this cabinet back on it. Again, I'm going to try to go from the back side and bring it in that way. All that's lined up pretty good, so that should be alright. And like I said, the only thing the real hard part is going to be getting this all back. See, this stuff here mounts in the cabinet back, and then you have to plug in that little line there, and it's pretty short, so that'll be a little bit of a problem, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. So, and of course all these little connections have got to be made onto the CD player. I'm not really sure how come there's so many of them, but you can see there's two right there, or 2 or 3. There's one up front right there, and that's back actually. Yeah, that's the back. So I can see probably it's this one here. Is that one in the back, and then there's another one in the back, that one right there. So it'll take some time to get this back in together, but I think it can be done. So we're going to give it a shot. So next thing you see, it may be back together, and it may be me swearing that I'll never ever take apart another radio again. So anywho, let me get off here and get back with what I'm doing here. So, I'm back once again. I have this boombox assembled. You can see it's together. It's not correct though. Problem number 1 is this CD player is not in right. I'm having a little problem getting that in. I put the screws in the back, and that makes it go down in the front, and so I need to have it come up in the front. So it's just one of those things. It's not working right. Another problem is, it's hard to see, but the tuning thing only goes that far. It stops. So that's as far as that goes. So when I was trying to get the CD player in, it kept getting underneath the tuning wheel, and I think that's what knocked it out of whack. So that's got to be fixed. Let me get this turned over a little bit so you can see a little bit better. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is, to get that fixed, I'm going to take it all apart again. Not all apart, but enough of it to where I get my things back. I have the 4 corner screws in, that's all I have in. So I have to fix the CD player, and this tuning thing is the main things. This here is also misaligned because it's scraping against the side. It's way too tight. So that'll have to be fixed. I don't think I'm going to do this now though. I think I need a break. That was a rough ordeal getting that back together. So I want to see if I can find a way to get the front panel separated maybe, or something, to where I can get this put it back together easier. So we'll have to look at it a little bit better and see what I can come up with. So, but for now, it is, like I said, back together, and everything lined up back here in the back. So I didn't put the antenna back on because it's not really done. So, and those screws there for the CD player obviously are not in. So, oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's thing that's supposed to open up the CD player, that doesn't line up right. I can't get that in. So, just need some more work. I did get all those little connectors hooked up, and I do believe they're right. That's the thing. I don't want to unconnect those. Really don't want to have to take this apart again, but there's no other way of doing it to get it fixed. So.
Yeah, this is something that is established and understood by the scholars, which is the fact that even if one comes through a means that isn't a legislated means to becoming head of state, that still means that one is a head of state. So whether
99.3 WZZB.
There are no neutrals there. You'll either be a... Ain't no middleman. To me it makes you
But the family...
Alright, well, you can see it's working. Everything is working as it should at the moment. I got the tuning straightened up and was able to get everything else back intact. The reason this wasn't lining up on top of the CD player is because there is a groove there that I missed. Oops, sorry. There's a groove there on each side. There's a groove that CD player fits in, and I missed that. So once I got it back in where it's supposed to be, it's lined up just fine. I haven't tested that yet. I'm going to, and that's gonna, if that works, that's gonna conclude the work on this, I think. I do have a little problem with this release. It doesn't catch all the time, so I may have to do a little adjusting there. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, but like I said, it works sometimes. So, you know, that's good enough. So I think what the problem is it's got bent, and you know, so anywho, that's working on both speakers. Let me double check, make sure of that.
Now this old world.
Let me get you a talk station here.
Saudi Arabia to appear the R standing for Sunni Islam.
You're listening to Islam, People and Power.
Yep, both
on the BBC
speakers are
World
working.
Service.
Do the
With me,
right and
Safa
left.
Al-Ahmed. In this special series, I'm delving into the biggest question facing the Arab world right now. What role should Islam play in the way...
Don't know exactly what else I can do other than test that CD player. I'm going to do that here as soon as I round me up a CD, so hang on. Okay, I got this CD loaded. I'm going to do the intro function. It should take it to all the tracks and not play enough of it to get a copyright, I hope. It's track 1. Here's track 2. Track 3. Plays roughly 10 seconds each track, so it shouldn't be enough to cause any problems. Track 4. Track 5. Track 6. Track 7. Track 8. Track 9. Track 10. And the final track. So that seems to be working just fine. Alright, happy about that. And like I said, we can switch back to radio if we need to.
Quietist Salafi.
Salafists are those who follow the text. Touch me, baby,
they got a lock on the door, afraid somebody going to rob them while they're out, making more.
Mostly sun. You're right at 75, 78 with lots of sunshine.
I believe this was the classical station I was listening to the other day. It's 106.1. I did get the dials off just a hair. Not enough to cause a problem, I don't think. 107.3, I think is what that is. So anyway, it seems to be working just fine. I'm happy with it. I'm happy I got it back together. All the screws are put in. Nothing's left over. That's always an important part. So, gonna wrap this one up, and I'm gonna go to the other camera for that. So, hang in there. Back we did this last time. We're gonna wrap this up. It's been a long journey. I spent, I know, at least 2 or 3 hours this afternoon putting it back the first time. And when it didn't work, I was a little disgusted. So I went and had supper and relaxed a while and came back in here, and I was able to finish it up then. So that was good. And there may be some other stuff on here, I don't know. I've got several things going on here. So I don't remember if I told you or not, but Lexi did get her job at Arby's. She starts tomorrow, and I think she's working 3 days this week. She is staying here this week because Kylie went to the gathering in Illinois, wherever, what's called ACTS, and I'm not really sure what all it stands for, you know, like that. But something to do with apostolic is all I can tell you. And I got sandwich on my face. Oh well. And we've this is Sunday evening. 9:52. That's a late night for me. Anyway, and went to my mother's this weekend. Saturday morning we got up, went, had a good time, good visit. I forgot the camera. Lexi, I told her that Friday night, I said, remind me not to forget the camera. So as we were well out of town, she said, you forgot the camera. So it was too late to turn back then. So anyway, we had a nice visit. Stayed, I don't know, 3-4 hours down there. Talked to my sister, talked to my mom. And like I said, had a good visit with them. And so, then Saturday evening, we didn't do much of anything. I think watched a movie or something. And just had a evening inside, didn't do much. It's been kind of cool. Well, it was cool Friday and Saturday. Very cool. Highs only up in the lower 50s maybe. So that was pretty cool. So today I think it got up in the 60s, almost 67 maybe, something like that. I think it's supposed to, you probably heard the weather forecast going by on the dial there, so it's supposed to get warm again, so I'm happy about that. So I didn't watch any, maybe 2 or 3 videos and commented. I shouldn't say I didn't watch them. I did scan through them and stuff like that. But if I didn't get to comment on your video, I am sorry. You know, just been a very busy weekend. And I'm hoping next weekend to work on the Buick some more. I think Kylie's supposed to be back on Friday from her little trip, and I think I'll have enough money to go ahead and maybe get a few discs of sandpaper. I think I'm going to start with some 80 and get the rough stuff down with that, and then I think move on to 180 before I put the primer on. So that's the plan anyway. So how that works out, we'll have to see. But you know, like I said, I'm going to have my granddaughter's doing the work. Lexi says she wants to do the paint, so I guess Kylie's doing the sanding. So like I said, that's I'll have to keep a close eye on them because of sanding discs are a little bit expensive to just let them eat them all up, you know, for nothing. So that's that. I talked about I talked this to Terry, Texas Viking, about getting a welder, a little flux welder. I don't want anything gas welder, any kind like that MIG, and I don't want that. I just want something very simple that I can hook into a regular power outlet. And I've got 1 or 2 things that need to be soldered, welded on the Buick. The fender, the passenger side fender, front fender, is going to have a patch put in it, and I want to do that. And I could probably get my brother-in-law or even my son to weld it for me, but that means a trip there, and I just figure, you know, welder would probably be handy to have. And I've never welded anything before, but it doesn't look that difficult. I mean, I know Terry makes it look easy, but you know, I'm not going to get that fancy. I'm just going to do some patch panels. That's about it. So anyway, that's going to come later. It's like between $100 and $150 for that stuff. So you'll have to wait a while. So I think that's about it. Like I said, I'm kind of tired. I may not even do this tonight. I don't know. Depends. I'll get in there and upload the video from the camera. I've got some other video somewhere I've already uploaded because I did some stuff to this at first, and I hope I remember the dates it was on, so I can put that in. But I'm gonna do that too. So happy about this. Happy this is working. Very happy. I was really dreading getting this thing back together. It was very hard to do. Not so much the connections. The connections were fairly obvious on where they went, things like that. The hard part was this thing has to be put back together a certain amount, and then you have to hook up wires and do things like that, line things up, and everything you have to have all your ducks in a row basically before you can really put it together. And the first time I didn't have that, and paid the price for that. But I think this time I got it. I'm happy about it, like I said. And you guys have a pleasant rest of the evening. Have a better tomorrow, and we will see you later. Bye.